Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name is Michaela, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you my period routine or my period essentials. I've been wanting to do this video for a very long time. I haven't made an updated one in about 2 years, and a lot has changed with my period routine and just my period lifestyle in general. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and also turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. That really does help get my videos back into your subscription boxes, because I know some of you haven't been seeing my videos as often, so definitely turn on notifications so you get notified. And also too, go ahead and follow me on Instagram. I've been posting a lot over there, telling you guys what's going on and, you know, doing product reviews and different things like that. So if you're into that kind of stuff, definitely check out my Instagram. So in today's video, I'm basically going to be covering my products that I like to use, what I use for cramping, how I deal with pain, just kind of my favorite little things and little tips and tricks that I have come across over the past 2 years that I have implemented into my routine that I thought would be helpful for you guys. And the first thing I wanted to mention, in case you are new and you have no idea who I am or my period background, I currently have the Copper IUD, and I did a full video on my 1-year update and experience. So that video went up, I think, like last month or so, and if you want to go check that out, I'll have a link down below. But I basically talked to you guys very in depth about the whole procedure, and also in that video I mentioned how my periods have gotten significantly worse. That's just what happens when you're on the Copper IUD. You get more cramps, you get more bleeding. For me personally, I didn't want to get rid of my period having an IUD for 5 years. I really wanted to keep my period, and my period originally wasn't super bad, so having it increase to get worse sounds crazy, I know, probably was, but it really wasn't that big of a deal, and it definitely subsided. Spoiler alert, it subsided a bit after 6 months or so. So if you want to go check out that video as like a prequel to this, then definitely go check that out. But we are going to be moving forward from that, and so yeah, I have a Copper IUD currently, and I think I've only had it for like 1.5 years now. And I've really been enjoying it, but with that, my periods are definitely a lot longer and a lot heavier, so I have definitely had to adapt my routine to fit that. And now that you have a bit of an idea of what my cycle is like, I also wanted to mention the app that I use, because I do track my period and I find it so helpful. I wish I started doing this earlier. I currently use the app Flow. You can use this if you're trying to get pregnant or if you're just simply trying to track your period. I really like this app because you can track the flow, all of your symptoms, and it's really nice to know what day your period starts and what day it ends, especially if you are on an IUD and you want to see if it increases or like gets better. I'm also seeing a naturopath for my acne and for my hormonal imbalance, and so it's super important that I am tracking my period, and also just knowing when I ovulate and certain things like that. So having an app is so helpful, and if you guys aren't tracking your period, highly suggest it. I think it's like such a great thing, and just knowing where you're at in your cycle, and just knowledge is power, and knowing all of that stuff is so useful. Now, before we get into like the nitty-gritty and like the actual products I like to use for my period, I did want to talk to you guys quickly about skincare, because I think it's a super important component, especially with hormonal imbalance and drier skin and just dealing with hormonal acne. I do think it is important, and this portion of the video is actually sponsored, so let's go ahead and get into that now. And now for my skincare routine, are a couple little tips that I have for you guys during your period. And you maybe don't necessarily think about skincare as being part of your period routine, but for me personally, I am dealing with hormone imbalance, and also I break out on a normal basis, and especially around my period. So I want to just try and keep my routine clean and simple and just kind of coast through. Of course, I am probably going to get some breakouts, but just keeping up a good skincare regimen is going to help me. And I feel like during your period, you're probably thinking self-care, you're probably thinking putting on all these masks and like really like get into those breakouts and stuff and treat them, and I'm just kind of trying to not do that and just keep all of my routine super simple. And this portion of the video is actually sponsored by Dr.Belmeur, and I have 3 products that I've been incorporating into my routine, and all of them are really nice. They're very gentle on my sensitive skin, but they're also very hydrating, which is exactly what I need. The first product that I've been incorporating is the Dr.Belmeur Vita Serene Tone Smoothing Serum, and this is actually an amino acid that gives like a light peeling effect, which is super cool. It also locks in moisture. It has a bunch of vitamins. It has like vitamin B5, B3, and also vitamin C in here, and a bunch of hyaluronic acid, which is going to be super moisturizing. And this is just a basic serum. It feels no different. When they say like a gentle peel, they don't mean like one of those other peels where you actually peel it off. It's just a serum. It's very lightweight, and it kind of smells like Fruit Loops. A couple of products do, and they smell really good. So this is suitable for all skin types, and it just comes out like a nice little liquid, and you can apply this morning or night. and it just goes all over your face and it gives you such a nice glow, and I have thoroughly been enjoying it. I definitely feel super glowy and very hydrated after. It also is supposed to tighten pores and just make skin more youthful, and who doesn't want that? The next product that I've been incorporating is the Dr.Belmeur Advanced Sisa Hydro Cream. I think that's how you pronounce it. This has been a fabulous moisturizer for me. It's pretty much everything I look for in a moisturizer. It's more water-based. It feels like a gel when you apply it, but it's very cooling. If you guys can see, I've pretty well used like half of it. It is so good. It does have that light citrus floral scent, but nothing too overpowering. None of the products are overpowering in scent by any means. And it is made up of 90% water-based product, which is good, and I just feel like my skin drinks this stuff up. It is so good. It's good for all skin types, and especially good for sensitive skin, which I have, so that's what the product looks like. It just feels so nice and like hydrating and glowy. And I know sometimes a product like this isn't maybe what you would reach for in the summertime, but for me, the dry skin, being out in the sun, I just want my skin to still lock up that moisture. It would be great in the winter, but I kind of use these products all year round because of my dry skin, and I like having a glow, and I like feeling like plump and stuff. So I've really been enjoying this moisturizer. It is really nice, and highly recommend. And again, smells like Fruit Loops. I don't know, it smells so good. Now that my skin has a very nice glow going on, it feels very plump and moisturized, the last product I wanted to mention is the Dr.Belmeur Sisa Peptide Intense Mist. And I personally love face mists. I think they're so great. They're really nice to refresh your skin, but especially during that time of month, during your period, I get a lot of like menstrual headaches, and reaching for something like this to just kind of cool my face down is so nice. I love it. Also too, it just helps with like dry skin if you're feeling bleh. I love a good face mist, and I actually do keep this in the fridge. I don't know if you're supposed to, but I do for most of my face mists if I want them to be extra cool, and for this one I definitely want that. Also too, note on the packaging, very cute, but also this nozzle for the sprayer is so good because the mist is super fine, but it actually sprays in like a circle, so it's not going to like jet out at you and like, you know, splash you in the face. It's just so gentle and lovely, and the fact that it's round really coats like all of your skin, so it's just genius. I've never seen that before, and it feels very nice. This mist is also super hydrating. It's meant to soften skin, help restore that skin barrier, help with dry, flaky skin, kind of just like all of the good things you would want in a mist. If you guys are into like the scientifical ingredients and things like that about these products, definitely go to the Nature Collection website and check them out, because there's a lot you can learn about these products, and this would be a whole video if I was going to sit here and tell you all the things about them, but if you're interested in that, definitely check it out. I will have links to everything down below if you guys are interested. I've just thoroughly been enjoying these products and incorporating them into my routine. I have seen only good things come of it, and so I wanted to share it with you guys, and a huge thank you to them for sponsoring this portion of the video. But let's go ahead and jump back into the rest of the period routine. Now, moving into the products that I reach for and use during my period, I have always been a pad girl. I really like wearing pads. I think it's totally fine, although there are certain circumstances in life that pads just are not the best option, and for that I have now switched over to cotton tampons. I had a huge couple boxes of them from Target, and so these ones are the Cora organic ones. This whole video is TMI, but it's fine. Basically with my Copper IUD, I definitely had to increase from a regular tampon to a super tampon. I just found myself bleeding through things a lot faster. I have never experienced that before. I could honestly wear like a panty liner and be totally fine on my like heaviest day before. That is not the case anymore, and I completely understand people now when they're like super concerned about getting a tampon in when their period starts. I'm like that now. And so these are the tampons that I reach for. These are just currently what I have, but I do know that tampons can be a little controversial, and I am trying to reach for stuff that is better for you. No fragrances, no dyes. I assume there would be no dyes, but you never know. So organic tampons are definitely something I am using more so now. Pads, I don't really have a preference. I kind of just like, you know, different ones, thickness for overnight kind of thing. Then I did want to mention the salt cup that I have been using. And to be honest, I haven't used this for the past couple periods because I haven't really been going out in the world. I've been staying home, as most of us have, so I haven't really felt the need for this. I know some people swear by it, and once they try a cup, they don't go back to pads and tampons. I think personally just having all three options is really great, and so there's definitely a certain time where I'll use the salt cup on my heaviest days. I really like it. I don't think I've tried it as many times to like fully get the hang of it and have that section. I do have a little bit of leakage still, but overall it is really, really nice. You can barely feel it's in there. It's really nice. I haven't tried the Diva cup, so I can't really give you guys like a comparison. Samantha did a bunch of videos on like cup comparisons, so definitely go check those out. This is what it looks like. I got the soft regular cup and it's really nice. It folds really easily. It comes with this cute pouch, which is great. And I think I do have a discount code. If I do, I'll have a link down below. I really, really enjoy this. It's a great option. It definitely does take some getting used to. It feels very weird to put in, but once you get it, it doesn't feel like anything's there and you kind of forget about it. My only recommendation is definitely when you're removing it, it's definitely easiest to do that in the shower. Just makes everything really clean and sanitary and just easier to clean up. So I do like the salt cup. I know a couple of you guys have been waiting for me to talk about my thoughts on this, and I do really like it. I'm just not super comfortable with it yet, if that makes sense, but I'm gonna continue trying to use it. And also with the IUD, I was a little bit hesitant to use it. I'm just afraid of the section pulling out the IUD, as it has happened to some people, but most people are totally fine. And I did ask my doctor and she said it's totally fine. It shouldn't be a problem. So safe to go on that. Also too, Salt does have their own cup wash. So this is what I use to clean it every single time before I put it in. Obviously you want to make sure your hands are super clean and everything is very sanitized, but I'm sure a mild soap would do the same thing. And the final period product that I swear by and highly recommend out of anything you guys go and try if you've been skeptical about it are period underwear. And my favorite brand is Knix. I will have a link. I love them. I have the regular, I think it's a bikini, but they're basically just like padded underwear, but not in like a bulky way. I'm sure you guys have heard about them, but if you haven't tried them, I highly, highly, highly suggest it. It's a great like second protection for you, but also too on your like lighter period days when you're getting a period or at the end, these are so much more comfortable to wear than like a panty liner or even a pad. And I find that I have little to no leakage with these, and you can just throw them in the wash as normal. Of course, you can rinse them out or wash them separately if you want to. I honestly just like throw them in my regular wash. Some people might, you know, be hesitant about that, but I've had no issues. And they come in so many different colors. I love the nude pair. And then one of the other styles that they have is bikini. And I just thought this was so genius because I dance, and so I'm wearing like smaller costumes and exposing myself a little bit more. And when I'm on my period, I want to make sure everything is concealed, locked, and loaded, and nothing is going to come out. And so with the Salt cup and then a pair of leak-proof underwear as a thong in my costume is like the perfect recipe. It's so nice. They're just honestly so comfortable, and it's just a really, really great fabric, and I love them, and I cannot recommend them enough. If you haven't tried these, even if you're a little bit older, and I know I got my mom a pair and she loves them too. So if you guys have been hesitant to try leak-proof underwear, they get the full stamp of approval from me. Highly recommend. Cannot live without them now. I honestly have like probably 5 pairs of each style, and I rotate them, and they're the only underwear I use on my period, and they just make everything so nice, and I love them so much. Let's talk about cramps, because mine have definitely gotten worse after getting my IUD, which is, you know, I knew that going in, totally fine, but I have had to adjust and just find more products that work for soothing my cramps, because I cramp usually on the day that I ovulate. I can feel the ovulation happening. That's a weird one. And then I do cramp a little bit before my period, and then usually I have one heavy day while I'm on my period that's pretty crampy, and I'll have to do some sort of remedy to fix it. But the first thing I like to do, one of my favorite things, is have a bath. And I like to use Epsom salt in my baths. I use the lavender scented one. This is just a huge bag from Walmart. It is so good. Yeah, I use this after dance. I use this when I want to relax. It's super soothing and just really great for periods, especially just before you go to bed. Feels so good. Love it. This is also a classic, a good old heating pad with like rice, or I think there's like beans or something in here. I think it's rice. I'm not sure. My grandma made this for me a long time ago, and it's my favorite one because it's nice and long. I'm sure there's a million DIY videos online that you guys can look at if you have not made one of these before and you want one, because they are so good. But I just heat it in the microwave for probably about 5 minutes, put this on my abdomen or like around my neck or wherever I'm cramping, and it's just so nice. And then kind of the opposite to that, I always want something cool if I have like a migraine or a headache from cramping or from just my menstrual cycle in general. Also great for hangovers. But I have one of these like sleep masks, but it has these like little frozen beads in it. So I keep this in the freezer, and it feels so nice on your forehead, especially if your headache is like behind your eyes. I get that a lot. It feels so nice and cooling to just like put this on. Again, hangover, great trick. Especially during the summer, it's so nice. And I feel like I've never mentioned this before, but I reach for it a lot. So if you're a heat sack kind of gal or you want something cool, these are both really great options. Another couple products that I've been using for the past year or so are actually roller balls. So I have this one from Sage, which is the Moon Cycle. It's a PMS relief remedy. I love essential oils and it just feels so nice and relaxing to put this on. You can roll this onto your abdomen or around your neck, kind of wherever. It also has a dropper on the other side, so if you want to put a couple drops in your bath, that works really nicely too. I really like applying these if you're like having one of those days where you're PMSing so much or you're cramping so much and you just want to feel relaxed and like for a second you're at the spa. This is what I reach for. And also Bloom makes a really nice one as well. You can apply it the same way. This one doesn't have a dropper, but this is called Cloud 9. Both are just really lovely scents. And I mean, I don't know if they actually work to help relieve cramps. I definitely have experienced that with this, but I usually take it in conjunction with like a pain med if my cramps are really bad. But I do really like both of these and it's just kind of like a fun step to apply and does make me feel a little bit better. So I'm gonna do it. And something I have been incorporating into my routine a little bit more recently is drinking raspberry leaf tea. I got a recommendation to try this for cramping from a friend on Instagram, so I picked some up. This one is from Traditional Medicinals and I really like it. It's a nice soothing tea, and just like when you're on a period and you're cramping, it's just kind of nice to have something soothing and like warm to drink, especially at night before you go to bed. I really like it. Just a heads up though, it tastes nothing like raspberry. If you're looking for a super like citrusy, delicious tea, this is not it. It tastes more like herbs and stuff. It's definitely not bad by any means. It's obviously an herbal tea, but if it's going to help with cramping, I definitely am going to try it, and I really liked it so far. And it's a nice option to have if you want to kind of have something a little bit more soothing to ease cramps if you're trying to avoid medication. All of these things can probably help. And that is pretty well it for my period routine. Those are all of the essentials and the things I've been using for my period the past year or so since they've gotten a little bit more intense. It's definitely gotten better. Like I said, after having the IUD for over a year, it's definitely eased out, but I am still bleeding a lot more and cramping a little bit more than I'm used to. So it's kind of nice to have all of these on hand that I can combat all of those symptoms and just kind of make myself feel better during that time. Some obvious essentials that I didn't mention are like chocolate, ice cream, carbs, all the things I usually crave because I usually have really, really strong cravings. But these are the tangible things that I wanted to show you guys and hopefully encourage you to try something new. If you saw something in the video, the period underwear, that you haven't tried before, definitely recommend it. And I will have a link to all the Dr.Belmeur products down below if you're interested. Definitely go check them out if you have dry, sensitive skin like myself. All of their stuff just feels so nice, moisturizing and plumping, and I have really been enjoying them. So that is it from me for this video. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.